Zimbabwe Farmers Union 75th Annual Congress, which is being held in Manicaland. The Zimbabwe Farmers Union is the leading farmer representative body in the country, and this year's Congress is running under the theme Value Addition, the Foundation for Wealth Creation. Value addition being one of the key components in our Zimbabwe agenda for sustainable social and economic transformation.
We've gathered here today for a worthy cause. This year's annual Congress marks 75 years of farmer representation and service delivery to the agricultural sector. It indeed has been a very long journey. The footprint of Zimbabwe Farmers Union is undeniably noticeable. Our organization has continued over the years to be the loud voice of the farmers of all walks of life. With limited resources, we continue to seek to uplift the standard of living of the Zimbabwe farmer. Our deliberations this year will be guided by the theme, Value Addition, a Foundation for Wealth Creation. This theme was inspired by the Zimbabwe economic blueprint of our government. The bulk of our farmers continue to underperform owing to the lack of access to funding from institutions that are supposed to avail credit. Our farmers are willing and are able to take production and value addition to higher levels. This will remain a dream if the necessary resources are not availed. I will also bring it to your attention that there is certainly something wrong with the pricing of our agricultural inputs in Zimbabwe. All our inputs are priced way out of the world. This is pushing production costs to unbelievable levels. With desperate markets, we are failing to be competitive. In the same vein, I would like to register concern over the obtaining cost of money. The prevailing interest rates are too high. There is no way a farmer can make money out of agriculture using funds pegged at such high rates of 40%. I would like to urge the relevant authorities to look into this matter so that farmers and other value chain players can operate profitably. Among other things, we note here that the financial institutions have failed to embrace the new dispensation of agriculture production obtaining after the land reform program. The banking institutions continue to cite huge risk associated with agriculture.
The guest of honor, Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who is represented here today by the Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Padijanda, had this to say in a speech read on his behalf.
This year's Congress comes against the backdrop of challenges besetting the agriculture sector, such as climate change, the vulnerability, limited irrigation infrastructure, limited agriculture financing, weakening commodity prices, and the slow pace of removal of illegal Western imposed economic sanctions, among other factors. It goes without saying then that when farmers meet, it is serious business. It is even more impelling than when the Zimbabwe Farmers Union, an organization of farmers in Zimbabwe, puts these issues on the table to guide its annual Congress deliberations. Having said the above background, I hope the delegates will develop a sound appreciation of what constitutes climate change as a prelude to involving short, medium and long-term strategies for mitigating the scourge. I am aware that it is vital to know the nature of the threat facing you in order to deal with it decisively.
Climate change has immensely affected agriculture, not only in Zimbabwe but across the region. Hence, Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa said schools of higher and tertiary education researchers should proffer solutions to the country's needs. He also stressed that farmers should adopt new agriculture technologies to mitigate climate change challenges.
Any value addition strategy is underpinned by vibrant research and development initiatives. The setting up of more universities such as Chino University of Technology in Mashonaland West, Marondera University of Agriculture Science and Agricultural Research Institutions Lupane State University, Matabeleland North, University of Zimbabwe in Harare, and the Midlands State University in Midlands Province is a deliberate effort by government to empower the nation in terms of research and development. These institutions must produce scientific solutions that answer to our problems.
Most of the farmers do not have collateral security, which is required by the bank to secure funding, and this is according to the farmers. Let us get the banker's perspective from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor, Dr. J. Mangunja.
My challenges that we are facing as Zimbabweans, as farmers, as even people who are in manufacturing throughout the whole country, it's lack of entrepreneurship. A lack of entrepreneurship. My business and we're not running them the way they should be run. We are saying let's put my clusters in my farmers who are serious and fund them so adequately, even through agreement or whichever bank, adequately to our funder. Don't want to produce that. If they don't produce, they get out of the land. What are you doing there? Either way, let's have a principle. Use it or lose it.
That was the Reserve Bank governor there, encouraging farmers to become entrepreneurs and also encouraging the Zimbabwe Farmers Union to put effective farmers into clusters so that the central bank may eventually fund them. Land leases are not the stamping point to financing in agriculture, as they are also used in countries such as Mozambique and Ethiopia, where agriculture seems viable with the funding of farmers from the banks. That is the governor's viewpoint. However, he pointed out that these land leases must be transferable in order for them to be bankable.
I support my land uses. The 99-year land uses. People talk about heritage. It's not the territory that produces munda. It's the land that produces my produce. If you go to Ethiopia, go to Mozambique, some of us, we know what is happening elsewhere. I think it's because we are so educated. At the end of the day, we only see problems, not seeing production. We've also put a window for non-performing loans. Loans is Zimbabwe Asset Management Company, ZAMCO. This window is very important and critical for those farmers who are serious farmers, who know what they are doing, who are incapacitated because of security. At 40%, 45%, we are saying, if you can go through your banks, discuss with them that you want to go through ZAMCO, and then we go to ZAMCO, we resuscitate, we restructure the loan, so at the end of the day, we can give you more time to pay at a lower interest rate through ZAMCO. That way, we can assist my good farmers to continue doing what they're good at. Proverbs 28, verse 19. Inotisho, he who tills the land will have plenty of food. Unorima mumunda, but he who follows empty pursuits will have poverty in plenty.
ZADT CEO gives a summary of the relationship that should exist between the farmers and the bankers.
So, Governor, there's a lot of work to capacitate my farmers. Kuti vantu visise kuti kana uchenda kuma bank unoita sei. My farmers ngative ne understanding yekuti nyaya dzezvemari dzinofamba sei. Then kuma banks, Governor, help yandinoona inoda ma farmers nesu tinoweka nawo nekutry kufacilitator is that sometimes the lack of knowledge iri muma-financial institutions atinawo izvozvizvo on agribusiness. It's an area inoda kuti igadziriswe because ini pandakaenda kuorganization yandiri ndichiona mamwe malonza angaita bed looking at them ndoona kuti apa papiwa mari yaida kuita banana production yapiwa 6 months yapiwa 12 months. When you look at the cycle hazvipindirani. Saka you find that clash pakati pekuti mafama ari kuya neuku mabanks ari kupa a one size fits all, which is something that we chinoda kuti tigadzirisa.
We have some people, the briefcase business people, who are going out to buy the produce from the farmer at a very, very low price. Dr. Mangunja spoke of $300 per hectare, per ton, while those briefcase business people they are buying the produce. Let's take maize at $240, some $190. But when they take that maize, they are value adding it just by simply making a maputi, this one here. How much is this? Do we all know? 5 rand. It means we all like it. Even those Wanambuya Nanasekur coming from the rural areas, where you can kanga your own maputi and put in a peg and eat as you are going, you still buy this. Right. I'm not saying it's bad, but I love this, but it pains me to buy this. Why? If you divide this 60 grams in a ton, it gives you 16,666 small packs like this. You multiply that by 50 cents, you are getting 8,333. This is to the middleman from a ton of maize, where he has paid you $240 or less. To me, that's a revolt.
As earlier mentioned by the Vice President Emerson Mnangagwa, that farmers should adopt new farming technologies to mitigate climate change challenges. It is a pleasure to note that some farmers have already adopted these new technologies. A Zimbabwe farmer from Manicaland is practicing climate-smart agriculture with drip irrigation. Drip irrigation uses little water yet maximizes yields per unit area, and the farmer can grow a variety of crops throughout the year.
Madrip kits anotibatsira nokuti tinowana mari kunyanya kubva kumatomatoes. Padollar rega rega tinenge tashandisa patomato tinowana something like $8. Saka tiri kuona mari tikatokwanisa kutenga karori kedu nenyaya yemadrip iwayaya. Nokuti nguva zhinji tinonga tingototengesa zvinhu. Chechipiri ngechekuti pagore pega pega tinorima katatu crop 1. Tikaisa crop 1 tokohwa, toisa imwe crop tokohwa, toisa imwe crop tokohwa. Hatina chirimo.
This Congress, as you can see, is different from the previous Congresses. You can see now we only had a half a day of session, and now we have gone out into the field to see the practical work, unlike before where we used to have speakers talking to farmers. Now we are looking at a program where we are doing practical programs, and we are at this farm where the main thing is drip irrigation. And as you are aware, this year there's going to be, it has been forecasted that there will be an El Nino, which means there's likely going to be a drought. And also during these past years we have had climatic changes. So our focus is on irrigation, but we're not only focusing on flood irrigation or sprinkler irrigation that we are used to, but we are now looking at the most efficient way of irrigating crops, which is drip irrigation, which we are seeing here, which can be done by the smallest farmers. So with this type of innovations and technology, we are able to continue feeding the country, and also be able to do other crops throughout the whole year, and be able also to export even in other countries, because we'll be doing also horticultural products. So it means the cash flows for the farmers is going to improve.
It is also a pleasure to have a notable value addition chain in Zimbabwe's food production. Zimbabwe farmers are touring Farm Gold, a company that specializes in value-adding fruits and other horticultural produce in Manicaland, where a demonstration on how to maximize benefits on agriculture will be made.
You would know that by now guavas are out of season. Yes. Really. So what we do is we pulp them. By pulping we mean converting them into a porridge like this. Then we store them in tanks under chemical preservation, and they can keep for 9 months. This one here is apple pulp. We do the same. We pulp, store in tanks under chemical preservation for about 9 months, and so on. Then these are the fruits that we use to make mixed fruit jam. By mixed fruit, we are actually saying we mix 2 or more of these various fruits. This is guava, this is apple, we mix this in a certain proportion. We can also mix the plum and any other fruits, then we make a jam. This is the mixed fruit jam here. This one here is our label, Farm Gold, is our own label, okay? But we also can for other people. This one here is Red Seal, okay? It's not Red Seal that actually makes this jam. We make it for them, then we make it, but for us it's the same business, really. And also this one here is for a customer called Food World. It's based in Harare, but it's the same product. We also make for them so that, you know, we also give business to other people. Tinokwanisa kukena tichisa magaba kana tinokwanisa kukena tichisa muma plastic bottles. Ma marmalades, we make them from citrus fruits, the majority of which are oranges. That's the biggest fruit that we use for marmalades. Okay, so what we do is this one here is the skin. Tine muchini unozo cheka uti kuti tuite ma shreds. Tinomenya toite mateko acho o slice into shreds. This is the inside. Now we cook them separately, then combine.
As you can see, the opens the gauge, once counts 4 closes, dumps the nut, comes out, counts 4 units here. From those ones which were there, which were running, this is now set a little bit. So now we can put the disc on the top without the disc going inside. So as you can see the way that the wheels turn. So what happens is if there's glue on here and a bottle comes through this sensor here, the label will stick, rotate around like this, the bottle comes here, connects to the bottle, and then it wraps around like that, and the finished product comes out. Because we're a manufacturer, we can't really sell one unit, obviously. So to our customers, they'll get a case of 12 or a case of 6, sometimes a case of 24. That's how we package. From here, we then stack it onto pallets, and this is how we distribute. 22 pallet trucks is what we send out.
From here, we go to a cocktail organized by the Zimbabwe Farmers Union and Econet, where an interesting product for farmers, the ZFU Eco Farmer Combo, will be launched.
Dora redu ya dora tiri kuti isusu dora pamwedzi rinokwanisa kuti murimi wega wega kwaari ikoko ange achikwanisa kuti musi waano danwa nanyadenga pavewo ne$500 inobva kuZFU inouyawo kune vanhu vawanga uchirima navo kuti tiri kuchemawo pano pamwe chete ngatimuradzikei murimi wedu zvakanaka ne$500 mudhora iroro. Toti mudhora iroro zvakare handiti taiti izo masubscription tese tiri part of the union, ngatichironga iramangwana edu, ngatitore mukachidimbu mwedzi wega wega kanoendawo kusubscription ya2016 kusvika 2017 takurongera rarini ramangwana, nokuti ndoziva kuti varimi vakatumika kazhinji vanoronga ramangwana. Pamusoro pezvo tinoti padhora iroro varimi tinoziva kuti munoda umbowo unobva kune ma-architects officers, umbowo unobvawo kune ma-agronomist ari kuzitevyu, umbowo unobvawo kune dzimwe nyika. Padhora iroro zvakare tati mwedzi wega wega murimi achawana mameseji anouya kwaari anokwana kuita iwo 25 mameseji achiuya musi wega wega anomubatsira kuti kune dzimwe nzvimbo ngaakwanise kurima kana ringave chibage kana kuti ringave soya beans anokwanisa kurima. Kana azvirima tikutizve murimi padhora iroro kukatsva nadenga akatadza kuti akatiwo gore rino hakuna mvura yakanaka, ndokuvanzuro vanhu vakanzwa redhiyo vakaudzwa kuti mvura yedu inenge isiri kunyatsokuuya zvakanaka. Kana wakuwaisa mainputs ako padhora iroro tokuti iwewo murimi uchakwanisa kudzorerwawo $25 inokwanisa kuti ukwanisewo kuwana mainputs ekudzorera muzunda. Ndozvakuti padhora redu kombo yedu ine zvinhu zvakawanda. Izvi zvandataura izvi zvinhu zviri kuitika kune maregions ayaya anoti region 1, region 2A and 2B neregion 3.
This has been the Zimbabwe Farmers Union 75th Annual Congress. The Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs, Honorable Mendi Chimene, shares her sentiments for hosting this year's Congress. The Zimbabwe Farmers Union Annual Congress, the 75th Annual Congress, was held in Manicaland. What's your comment on that?
It was an honor to me because at least I have interacted with the farmers. I was supposed to have followed them back home, but it has been easy for me to meet them whilst they are at one place. Then to the rest of the farmers out there, it has been a very healthy opportunity for us to meet and discuss our way forward, because farming is business. If we don't discuss farming business, we are letting the country down. Our people should know that farming is not just taking any type of seed and put in the soil and expect it to grow the way they want. The seeds have got characteristics, and nowadays we've got erratic rainfall pattern, and if we just say because our forefathers used to grow maize and we go maize throughout, maize, we may not win, because maize at times when it gets to maturity it needs a lot of water, and if that water is not there, it's as good as we did not do anything at all. So I'm suggesting that we categorize our areas and say areas that can do maize be allowed to do maize, and those other areas which are hot and does not receive enough rainfall be commanded to put what is relevant in that area.
By and large, the objectives of this Congress have been met. We still have a lot of things to do in terms of building up our strategy going into the next year. And that strategy, the adjustment to the strategy will be informed by the issues that were discussed, pertinent issues that were discussed, some which are quite topical and others that have been ongoing for a number of years. The issue of productivity was one issue that was adequately dealt with during this Congress, from one speaker through to the other, and I would say it was sufficiently dealt with by the keynote speaker, who spoke more about the value chain and what farmers need to do, and the opportunities that now exist through the various funds that the Reserve Bank is unveiling, and also through funds such as the one being administered by ZADT, Zimbabwe Agricultural Development Trust, the CREATE Fund. So there has been a lot in terms of real programs that farmers can do, working together with institutions, for instance, working together with the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, the issue of going deep into our database, the farmers database, picking up those producers who in real terms are producing, the ones that are, so to speak, serious, who probably would be in the commercial or A2 setup, and position those so that they receive funding from the various commercial banks. We are advocating now that we look at the instruments of ownership, which is the 99-year lease. Even for the A1, we also want to look at the A1 permit to see that these two instruments which are conveying ownership become transferable, so that banks are able to trade against those instruments, taking those instruments or even the pieces of land, so to speak, as collateral, which can then help farmers to oil up their capital and working capital requirements. So it was a Congress which was really packed.